major at 32.
Yeah.
It was just
It's not even 32 yet. He'll be 32 this year.
Right,
Yeah,
you see.
yeah.
So here is a guy who seems to, and he was like a natural leader in his group. You know, a galvanizer. You know that. You know, there are some people who
I saw a clip
makers.
of him when he was swimming in a river, and he was saying.
So I feel so. One, because it's my unit. Two, because I was an adjutant of the unit, so I know a lot of what is happening. I know the handling on these things. Three, I also crash landed as a captain. Crash landed as a captain. I had 2 kids, just like him had 2 kids, and I was proud. Yes, I was proud of what I was doing. I was always in the eye of the storm at that time.
That's the drill you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, that is.
I was always in the eye of the storm, and you could relate to say, oh, so that thing has been just cut.
Just truncated.
Yes, that is the drill. I've been a cadet before. I was a cadet in tech for 4 years, so I understand. I mean,
look at that.
And this is someone who's straight and true. Straight and true.
Yeah, you know, and it's such a promising thing that has been truncated. But hey, we could turn it around.
Yeah.
If Jesus had not been lynched or killed, those of us who believe in him would have had no hope.
Yeah. Let's go straight back to State House. Sorry for cutting you in. There's an interview with a family member, I think Biswat Dona Hammond, who gave us that.
Excellency, the former president, who is a family member, has been playing a key role in consoling us. Initially, it wasn't an easy thing to take. However, with time, with concern expressed by the entire nation, we believe that the grief shared is grief reduced. So, come a long way. Today, we are a little bit composed. The mother, as you can see, when she came back from the UK on Friday, she's been weeping all through. The wife. So, we've not had it easy.
All right, well, so I don't know if you saw what just happened, but the Speaker of Parliament has just arrived. And yes, they're greeting the dignitaries here. Indeed, the former President, John Dramani Mahama, he's been seated. Next to him is Captain Mahama, the father of the slain Major Maxwell Adam Mahama. All of them are seated right here. Amongst them are some other dignitaries. And indeed, security is on our neck now. We're having to really run off to safety. Basically, like I said, it's very packed here, an emotionally charged environment, very, very sad faces, and everybody obviously is in mourning, and everybody definitely is thinking exactly what went wrong. Like you heard me speak with the previous. Right. Well, a lot of security issues here that we're encountering, but hopefully we can find a very safe place so we can engage you. But it's a very sad moment for all of us gathered here. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but the security personnel tell me that they're expecting over 3,000 people to come here this morning. And so you can imagine the level of security, and of course, considering that we have all of these high level dignitaries here, security is very much beefed up. But all is going on smoothly. In the background, we hear the Armed Forces Choir, and then the Armed Forces Central Band as well in attendance. Okay, so guess who just arrived? So the Vice President, who is supposed to lead the government's delegation, he's just arrived with his wife. The wife of the Vice President, yes, Samira Bawumia, and they're going to pay their last respect to Major Maxwell Adam Mahama. If you can see, the casket is actually covered in national colours, and I see some military officers as well guarding the caskets, and indeed followed All right, let me see if I can see. Okay, well, so I can see clearly now. Right, well, following the Vice President is the Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honourable Mike Okoye. Yes, he as well arrived not too long ago. I see a couple of other dignitaries. The Minister for Trade and Industry, the Honourable Alan Chemating as well is part of this delegation. So yes, it is the Vice President leading the government delegation to pay their last respect to Major Maxwell Adam Mahama. I think I see as well the Defense Minister. Yes, he's as well here. A number of dignitaries. Early on, I spoke with the Honourable Deputy Minister for Communications, Nengi George Anda, as well. He's as well part of the delegation that is filing past the caskets right about now. All right, so the music you hear in the background, yes, I think now the Armed Forces Central Band has handed over to the police band, yes, but early on we had the Armed Forces Central Band playing, and then they're supported by the Armed Forces Choir. Yes, the whole place is packed. Everybody is in mourning. I've seen people weep uncontrollably. Indeed, early on when I filed past, I felt same. I've been in tears, but this is what has happened. And like the earlier dignitaries said, I believe that this would be, that turning point for us as a country, as we, work to end mob injustice in the country. But let me just quickly say, though, that if you just joined us, we're live on GH1 TV. My name is Beiswa Dona Hammond. I am joined here by my colleague Kweku Obingne J, who will be joining me pretty shortly on air. But this is where it's all happening this morning. In a short while, the service, or the funeral service, will begin. And then that will be followed by the wreath laying, and then subsequently to the cemetery where the burial will happen. Other activities after that will be announced later on. But I would still try and see if we can get a few, people to speak with. I believe that as the Vice President has just, taken his turn, to file past the casket, service will surely begin. Indeed, the initial time given us was 9. 9 o'clock was a time that, that the service begins. It's about 10 minutes at the top of the hour, 9, and hopefully service begins now. The Vice President and his team are taking their seats now. Yes, we're still having some security issues here. But I just want to say that you can join us this morning live on GH1 TV, where we're bringing you a full coverage of the funeral and military burial of the late Major Maxwell Adam Mahama. It's happening right here at the forecourt of the State House, where thousands of people, Ghanaians from all walks of life, have come to pay their last respect to the heroic soldier, father and husband who senselessly lost his life in the line of duty.
aka mansinin ifi aka manton na mumyan hwa so de yimpa kakra bi ho bona wezi na yanka wonyina yanka mfamfra na question abi said there ebran azene ye ayaza ye ba yan hwehwe a dam mansinin ebotu no ho anamo a mbenta na ngetesia ho abrabo ofa na adwuma ye ofa na wofa na mrokomreba ne nyina ye de enyo besi ho a da musunsum na subambo na ohwan ye bohwe na fi yetu ase nti abayaza obaye insurance da mahe a enye a ye wo region mu okun a ye ba fado anamo a ye botu ma ahwema mbenta na ngetesia wo ho da ma yambra sam na wo nwenyo do yetu ya ase nti we are not sure of
knowledge. We are not sure. It's the human material.
So, live pictures from the State House where the funeral of Major Mahama is underway. I see men of the cloth who are gathering around also to pay their respects from the various religions, Christians, Muslims, and traditional leaders, all coming by, filing past the remains of Major Mahama. And pretty soon the service proper, I believe, will start at 0900 hours, as the soldiers say it. Yes, my guest here is Selim Brantier from the Imani, Dr. Kobi Mensah from the University of Ghana Business School, and Captain Budu Kumsin, who was a former proud member of 5BA and 5 Battalion, adjutant as well, and giving us some color and some background to what we see there going on there. It's a really solemn, somber occasion for the whole nation, and hopefully we can go against our normal nature of allowing things to die down, to galvanize, to use this opportunity to galvanize ourselves, to make sure the right things are done, so that people pay the consequences for the wrong things that they do, and that we take actions which are completely. So this is GH1 TV. My name is Kafui Day, and as and when it is necessary, we will pop back into the State House to get pictures from the feed. Captain,
yes,
we have an interview that we want to catch right now with Kwamina Dankwa. He's live on Kwamina Duncan. I beg your pardon. He's live at the State House.
It's very painful moment. We share in their pain, we share in their anguish, and we are hoping that as the Security Council, we will take the necessary steps to ensure that a thing like that doesn't reoccur.
I don't know how long you've been here, but do you know if there's a delegation from Dintra here?
Well, my information is that the chiefs are coming to be part of this funeral program.
I hate to say this because we are all mourning, but then what can you tell us about, all that we've heard about investigations and all that? What is the Regional Security Council also doing? What is your role in all this?
No, 3 parallel investigations are going on. One, we have the criminal one that is led by the police, and that one is gone as far as to the headquarters. Then we have the military itself. As an institution, they have said that anything of that nature, when it happens, they themselves also go into it and do their investigation. So for the past 2 weeks, we had the military police come into the region, and we hosted them at the residency, and they have carried out their investigation. From the regional point of view, in fact, the president also directed me to institute investigation into this matter. So we have another committee which is working on that to produce a report for us. So I'm sure the criminal leg, it will continue. We will have our report, and then from our end, what is it that we need to do so that this dastardly act does not recur in our region. So investigations are going on, 3 of them.
And what will be your final words? I don't know, seriously, I don't know what else to ask, but what will be your final word to those watching, those listening to you, and especially to citizens in Dintra Boise, where I'm sure that there should be some, anxiety and tension?
Yeah, for citizens in Dintra Boise, they must feel ashamed that this whole thing that has shaken the foundation of the entire country happened in their village. We in the region also are very sorry. And that we as a country, we need to take a cue from this, that those of us in political leadership, those in the clergy, traditional authorities, we should not take things for granted. We must, at every opportunity that we have, educate our people, educate our following, that the law does not lie in our hands. That whatever, even if the person is a criminal, it is not your business to visit whatever justice you may call on the person. Hand over such persons to the police, because those are the recognized national institutions that deal with the law. So as a country, we need to take a cue from that going forward, ensuring that we do not have a thing like this happen again.
Thank you very much. And that was the Central Regional Minister Kwame Duncan expressing his thoughts and sharing his grief as well on what has happened. I'm sure you know that this really occurred in this region. And as he did state, the Regional Security Council is taking this matter seriously, as well as other security agencies. He did mention that there are 3 different, if you like, investigations going on, and they are related. And so surely the perpetrators will be prosecuted and brought to book. You're watching a live coverage right here at the forecourt of the State House. The burial service for the late Major Maxwell Adam Mahama. And I must say that quite a number of dignitaries have arrived here. Journalists are here, groups. I've seen traditional leaders, religious heads. And I have even spotted his sports mates, those he plays long tennis with. Very interesting. They all fouled past with rackets, trying to show their love. Because with pictures and videos that we've seen of the late Captain Maxwell Adam Mahama, he was a very lively person. There's one thing that I have spotted, Beswa, who is my colleague here, as we do this together. The former president, John Dramani Mahama, is not sitting at where many are expecting him to sit, because he's a former head of state. So the expectation is that he should be sitting on the protocol high table, maybe close to former President Kufuor. He is sitting very close. In fact, he's sitting by the mother of the late Maxwell Adam Mahama. And this is because we all know that he's a family member. And so I'm sure they just want to have him closer to the family and make him feel part of this whole celebration. But Beswa, I don't know. You are with the media. We have both from GH1. Let's talk about media coverage so far. As early as 5 or even from last night, media houses gathered here, started setting up for today's big occasion. What will be your impression so far?
Well, I'm so impressed what I have seen so far. Well, we got here around 6 thereabout, but I was told that as early as 5:05, media houses were already here, setting up. And indeed, when we got here, we saw quite a number of them. A lot of them have followed up, after us. And we even have international media persons. I spoke with one young lady who is reporting for one French media house. So yes, it's been widely covered, and for me, I think that it shouldn't just be about the coverage, but the real meaning or that impact that we all are looking forward to see. Yes, first of all, we're talking about justice, in this whole case that happened, but as well as a nation. What are we going to learn? What are those lessons that we're picking up? This is obviously isn't the first mobbing justice that we have seen as a country.
We will look at that, and I'm going to put that question to some dignitaries when we speak to them later. But right now, the ceremony has begun. We'll hand over to our folks in the studio, and then we'll come back. Stay with us. This is GH1 TV.
All right, so our colleagues, Kweku Obingeje and Beso Dono Hammond, at the grounds of the State House. The funeral is about to start. The service is about us. We're going to go straight back to State House for the beginning of the ceremony.
That sing and fly. Prize to win.
Let us pray. God, our Heavenly Father, your word says, greater love has no one than to lay down one's life for his friends. John's Gospel 15:13. Just as Jesus sacrificed his life so that we may be free, so too has our brother, our son, our husband, our father, our comrade, Major Maxwell Adam Mahama, has done, laying his life for Mother Ghana. Major Mahama traveled through jungles, rivers, and mud. He has tasted, sweat, and shed his blood. He folded his hands and looked to the sky. We saw tears as they welled in his eyes, in his helplessness. In his anguish, he spoke to God. And this is what he said: Lord, receive my soul and bless my homeland Ghana. Lord, when you judge, please be kind. When he comes before you, dressed in tattered clothes, but he walked proud before you as he sacrificed his life for his nation. His boots will be muddy and his clothes torn from weary, but he has proudly worn this cloth for Mother Ghana. His heart is so and cold inside, yet he has fought a good fight and done it so proudly. Dear Lord,